Muscles brought a baby bunny home, and it was in the house a few days when to there. And so, as an example of what rodents do to a floor, if you don't constantly clean under the furniture, it leaves an oily, dirty residue. So I'm going to show you how to clean after rodents. When my daughter was young and we used to go to the cottage during the weekends, every time I came up the first day, I would get on my hands and knees and scrub the floors. I found somebody that's going to come over and look at the house to see what repairs can be done. So I need to keep the place clean. I haven't cleaned in a couple days, so it is a disaster. So there's lots of cleaning to do. I was doing laundry and I applied the binky rule to everything. I was doing laundry and this fell down on the floor from the clothesline, and if anything that falls on the floor has to be washed. So I do not, because of the rodent situation, anything that falls on the floor gets thrown away, washed, thrown away. Nothing is eaten from the floor, nothing is worn from the floor. I got this stuff because my daughter was a heroin addict. She is the company that she keeps are constantly dying from overdose. So I had prepared I wanted to do a little mommy-daughter get-together, and she's a little too upset. So that's kind of a disappointment for me because she doesn't want to spend any time with me at the moment. But I had gotten strawberry cheese swirl cake. I ate it. And I was going to do a little, have a little girl time, do some coloring, and got my nails. I was going to give her a pedicure because I wanted her to watch my videos to get her opinion before I publish. So this I was going to take to my daughter. I used to go to, while I was at the laundromat, I would cut the recipes for magazines and then paste it and then make a recipe book. I gave, while my daughter was at a all-female rehab, she asked for vegetarian recipes, so I gave her the vegetarian recipes, and I thought I'd give these to her because she's thinking about going to culinary school. And then this is the silverware that was from my restaurant. I took 10 for myself, and then I'm going to give the rest to my daughter. And then if you ever see a bag that represents laundry that I did at somebody else's house or the public laundry, that's my blanket. Oh, these are some projects I'm working on. This is something I was going to suggest to the town. And So I've got to organize that drawer. And every summer, because it is so humid and there's so much water, this drawer never opens. So I have a problem organizing, getting things put away because I can't get that drawer open during the summer. Some vacuuming. And after I got the bunny out, I vacuumed and I spritzed everything with isopropyl alcohol. Every time there are people in my house or a rodent or something, I do a terminal clean, and part of the terminal cleaning is spritzing everything immediately with isopropyl alcohol. Mussels brings home a lot of things. There was a frog there for a few days. I got this. Has to go into that room. Laundry I was doing. Every time I do laundry, it leaves a mess in the tub, so the tub has to get washed. That's the towel. After washing, I dry the washer. I wipe the washer down, get all the water out of the washer, because if you leave water in there, it's going to, mold and mildew. So my computer was on vacation, and I had a lot of projects I wanted to show, but I had all my projects piling up, so I just went ahead and did it, and the result is I organized. I got baskets from Dollar General and organized my utility room, and so I've got my cat laundry, little things, the hand vac and steamer, vacuum bags, paint stuff, brushes, light bulbs, cables, and this is what I need to get to show you the floor. Oh, this is the stuff. So that's that, and bathroom. Gotta do the tub. Actually had gotten wiped out. When I first caught the bunny, I set him in the tub so I could look up what to do with a bunny that has been separated from its mommy. And if you act fast, you can just return it to the open space, because that's where rabbits have their babies, is in the open. So I've got all these papers. These are all different projects I'm working on. I was working on a grant and that sort of thing. And then when after the what's been happening, I kind of stopped because money was going to other places, and it was important that everybody, get taken care of. So I was a little embarrassed to ask for money, for grant money. And my exercise equipment, I don't want to set up if the repairman is going to start immediately, because then it would just be a huge mess to clean up, to get into the little parts of the moving parts of the equipment. As a ballerina, a lot of the reason ballerinas are thin is because their environment, there's nothing in their environment. There's no exercise equipment, there's nothing. So So the floors get cleaned every day, the bar gets washed down, and there are no obstacles. And exercise equipment collects dust and bacteria and that sort of thing. So those sorts of things aren't in a ballet room. So the less impediments and objects there are, the cleaner the body functions, and the cleaner functioning, the cleaner the body is, and it's nothing. There's no reaction to bacteria and things, so it's easy to get skinny. And a lot of the reason why I don't want to exercise is because this wall has to get replaced. I have used everything to get rid of the black mold, and I don't want to exercise and inhale that stuff. That's why I wear a mask exercising, because mold makes it makes people fat. It's basically an assault from mold it's sort of a low-grade anaphylaxis seizure. You're getting puffy from the mold. So it's important to get everything, all the dirt, out of your exercise room. So the chimney has to get fixed because it's seeping water. It's all swollen. So the chimney has to get sealed. The wall has to get replaced. The floor has to be done because there's stuff coming up from underneath the floor. I had feral cats that were constantly having babies in my garage, and then I would take them in, and they would get into the crawl space. They would go into the crawl space in the utility room and get underneath, and then Muscles was underneath. He was hiding 3 months under the floor, and that's where he was doing that was his litter. So I mean, it was smelling really terrible, and I had to really put my foot down on the hoarders to get the crawl space boarded up. Those are pillows I don't know what to do with because I gave away my containers that I emptied. And this I had hanging up in the utility, and it keeps falling down. So I have to come up with some way of having towels readily available, and not always having to move every single box to get to a towel. Oh, and I got something to clean the air, but I haven't used it because it would just be kind of pointless. And it's been super hot, so I really haven't needed a blanket. And I've got to clean over there because the bunny was over there, and all the pillows have to be washed. Every time I do laundry, everything has to be removed from the tub because the vibration from the machine knocks everything over. So I've got lots of cleaning to do. I don't really have to do, well, no, I have the rabbit and the frog, so I've got to chlorinate. First thing you want to do, you're going to clean up. Cleaning up after rodents is want to just get up all the loose debris. You don't want to use your broom or a vacuum because you're going to contaminate your broom and vacuum, and brooms are difficult. If you've got a straw broom, it's difficult to decontaminate a straw broom. You can spritz it with isopropyl alcohol. If you have a synthetic, you can wash it. Vacuums, you got to get into all the little parts and wash it. So just wipe up all the debris. Objects that touch the ground. Actually, this is used to pry the bunny out. So like this. Stuff that has gotten on the back of the furniture. Put that down. All this, if you don't wash your furniture and things, those scents attract rodents. So you have to taking your soapy dishwater to your counters. It gets down behind the counter and leaves scents that attract rodents. Place you want to, if you've got a rodent problem, you don't want to have good furniture. You constantly have to clean using strong cleaners to get rid of the rodent stuff and dirt that attracts rodents. So that's, I don't want to bring my antiques into a place that hasn't been repaired and gotten rid of the rodent scent. Cleaning stuff from rodents immediately has to go into garbage. Get the loose stuff off of this. I discovered during cleaning up a restaurant that had been left dirty. Cleaning up. I didn't have it was on propane, and so I didn't have the propane tanks hooked up because I had to go through all these processes to get everything done. And so I was cleaning without hot water using the recommended commercial cleaners, and it wasn't working. And I discovered that wipes do a really good job at cleaning a restaurant. So that's why it's important to have baseboards that prevents rodents from getting in, bugs from crawling up from underneath. My hair, that's what well water does to hair. You don't want to use vacuums cleaning up. You want to wipe the dirt up. You want to wipe the dirt and you don't want to use a vacuum, because a vacuum is just going to release tiny little rodent dust, rodent particles into the air, and then it's all going to fall back right down onto the floor. So you just want to scoop everything up. I like using these on wood because there isn't any chlorine in it, and it won't cause mold to grow. This is surfactant, dish liquid, and hot water. You can spritz, but that really isn't enough on a heavy job with rodents. What you want to do first is use the surfactant to get up all the loose debris. cleaning up after a rodent is similar to cleaning up after a Christmas pine tree. You really have to get close to the edge. Oh. That's where rodents go along the edge, and that's where they're leaving their trail, their scent, so they know every time what's it's telling the rodent it's a safe route. Now go into a deeper scrubbing to get the tiny particles that you aren't able to detect with the human eye. Getting clean water. Rinse. As soon as you get the debris loosened, immediately rinse so it doesn't set. water is it's black, so I'm going to get clean water, do a rinse. You want to get as much of the sin off as possible. I've got to get a toothbrush to get into those edges. I'm not going to wash and reuse because it's got rodent stuff on, and it's really difficult to wash fabrics after a rodent has gotten to it. Fresh water to do a rinse. My metal spatulas because stainless steel is porous and it'll absorb all that, so I use things that are disposable. That isn't rodent stuff that I'm not able to get up, but it's probably accumulated food particles that smush together from mopping, so that it'll attract rodents. Because uncleanliness tells rodents it's a safe place because the human hasn't gotten there to wash it. Hopefully the floor is going to go in a couple months. I'll do the floor. Don't worry about it. weren't very good cleaners because they destroyed a lot of their own property. I visited my daughter several times at the female rehab, and they're supposed to, part of their introduction into society, be able to maintain a clean environment. And every time I went there was the same sticky grape jam on the counter. It never got washed. It was upsetting me. Well, people that have done heroin, they've got really weak muscles, so you can't expect a recovering addict to be able to do clean properly. So I was really upset at the staff. I was upset from the staff because they ought to have had enough sense clean up the sticky grape mess that was collecting germs, and that would be detrimental to an addict who has a weakened immunity and organs. And it upset me that the staff didn't have enough sense to clean it, to do the cleaning themselves, to get rid of it, to protect your patients, your clients. And it really upset me that I wrote a letter to the CDC, and of course they didn't do anything because apparently they don't have very good priorities and don't know how to clean, because you don't want to clean immediately using chlorine, because chlorine burns the rodent stuff into the surface. You have to get all the debris off the surface before you disinfect. And you can't get up all the debris just from wiping it with a paper towel. As you have seen, it just keeps on coming out with every layer of cleaning. Oh, what you doing? Muscles! Ooh, nice and clean. Cats love clean spaces, so I know it's clean. Doing a good job. Because he chased the bunny all the way over to the other side, and then he returned to look for the bunny. That's a sign of intelligence. My baby, approximately 6 months, she was on my lap, and I was folding clothes, and I had dropped the sock to the side, and she was looking for it, and couldn't find it, and I was, about a half hour later, I'm playing with her and folding laundry. Half an hour later, she's looking for where the sock was, where the sock had fallen. And that is a sign of intelligence. So I knew immediately that my baby was intelligent. that I was blessed to have an intelligent child. So I've rinsed the surfactant. Now I'm going to go with straight vinegar. You don't need to dilute vinegar. Vinegar is already diluted. Cooking vinegar is 5%. Typical household cleaning is 6%, and it goes up to 45%. It's something I would like to get to clean the place because it needs a really strong vinegar. So you don't need to dilute vinegar because it's already diluted. So I'm going to go with straight vinegar to give even a deeper surface clean that'll strip off the scent and the grime and the dirt. It's going to strip it off, and then I'll go over with the chlorine. And cotton towel, cloth. Vinegar deters rodents. Rodents do not appreciate the smell of vinegar. Now to get really into these little places that don't want to remove themselves, little sticky places, it's going to require a power drill. And I gave my tools to my daughter, and I haven't retrieved it yet. Now I'm going over cold chlorinated water. It has greater effectiveness than hot chlorinated water. So I'm going to go over now. You can wait to dry, but I'm demonstrating. You want to wait to dry. You want to dry between times due to the fumes. So it's important to wear a mask because you're going from vinegar to chlorine, and that's going to create a fume. So it's important to wear a mask. Not only prevent the inhalation of rodent particles, but also prevent the inhalation of toxic fumes. vinegar, 5% diluted vinegar is enough, is top acidity enough. I did the wall over there, the chalk wall, chalk and vinegar, and I was about to faint until I got on the mask. So the chlorine is disinfecting. Everything before was cleaning, sanitizing, removing the dirt. The chlorine is disinfecting. It's killing the germs, bacteria, mold. Chlorine kills mold, yet it also enhances the growth of mold. So it's important after disinfecting with chlorine that you go over it with vinegar to prevent the growth of mold, and then also the vinegar is going to prevent the rodent from returning. Rodents don't like chlorine, but they also don't like vinegar. It's important to go over vinegar after the chlorine to prevent the growth of mold. The vinegar prevents the growth of mold. Now I'm going to go over vinegar, straight vinegar. There is my clean. So all this stuff gets thrown away. This was my wall cleaner to get into the stucco. I don't know, I guess keep it around for the floor. Keep it around to do the floor. This was my kitchen sink toothbrush, but I'll just get a different toothbrush. So all that gets thrown away. It is cotton fabric and so forth. So it's going to be biodegradable. It's biodegradable. Degradability is greater than the whites. So it's a senseless hoarder thing to hang on to dirty cloths.